Hey, if nobody ever taught you how to listen, if nobody ever taught you how to love, listen, or reconcile as a man, today's show is the show for you. It's the relationship reboot class you need. Myself and Anderson and the gang are getting into it too. You can stop guessing in your marriage, your dating, and frankly, in life. And that conversation, it starts right now, live, 8 o'clock Eastern time on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, Melissa, Jimmy, the entire crew. And Jimmy, it starts right now. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up,
building muscle improves blood flow.
From squirting to squirreling.
Start small, build up, and expand from there.
Be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? Slept.
Doesn't come from breaking the rules, you guys. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends, your live morning show for men who are tired of winging it in life. Yeah, true story. Winging it in life, business, relationships. We are here every single day to bring real talk, motivating content, and entertaining conversations that you will not find anywhere else. Nation, yes, content to help you start your day right. Hey, just a reminder, guys, before we get the show on the road, and before we sprint into the morning loop, I invite you to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and drop a comment in the comments. Lurkers, we know you're out there. I appreciate you, especially you, Charlie. True story, man. This is I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your calls yesterday while I went to the eye doctor. Hey, quick parental advisory. This is an R-rated experience. Sometimes it delves, as the old chat GPT would say, into the X-rated experience for grown men having real talk. We talk about everything here in the lab, and you are invited. So if there are kids in the room, you might want to walk them out of the room. You might want to send them out or put some headphones on, or hey, put the earplugs in. Yeah, put true story. I know Roofy sleeps with the loop earphones. Maybe you want to put those loop head plugs in, so earplugs, so that the kids don't hear what we got to say. And hey, you hit that snooze button. You are 9 minutes behind the guy who doesn't. We do not snooze here in the lab. I know Jimmy wasn't snoozing last night. I know Melissa wasn't snoozing. I know there were some obstacles that were in front of us that we overcame. I got to tell you guys something, man. One of the things I love about being an entrepreneur, one of the things I love about building business is your job is actually a professional problem solver. That's what you do. Find a problem, attack it, solve it. Find a problem, attack the problem, solve it. Oh, this one didn't get solved. Go back and do it again. I think it might be one of the most rewarding experiences in life. Solving problems. Love it, love it, love it. Hey guys, hour one today. Today's current conversations, we have a scientist at NIST literally calculating how clocks on Mars run. So this, guys, I got some interesting shit for the show here today. Yeah, true story. New research saying your constant phone checking is actually quietly wrecking your memory and focus instead of maybe looking at it too much. Yeah. And then we're talking about how you, when you walk in a room and you forget why you were there because you refreshed 3 apps in the hallway. Well, we're going to talk about that. We have bacteria that can help us get to Mars. Yes, and turn it into concrete. Oh man, again, the old host here was curious yesterday building the show. And then we got Microsoft's CEO saying AI has to earn, oh, I love this one, social permission for the energy it is using. Think about that, guys. Good morning, Beholder. Good morning. Our RF3 Angel, yes, daddy. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab. Hey, center stage, we got Hunter Stoller, the health coach who used to eat Chick-fil-A every single day and now coaches people how not to eat Chick-fil-A every single day and how to build a body and lifestyle that does not collapse under stress. Guys, hour two, deep dive, microdosing THC. Woo, baby, we're talking about my favorite topic, the functional high fueling a new kind of productivity. And hey, yeah, we're also going to get into some real talk on what men are actually doing out there to focus, calm anxiety, and to dry hack productivity. And then we're going to get into the big relationship conversation. I was talking to Sophia and Maya off screen this morning, And they're going to join the conversation here today with myself and Johnny about the relationship reboot, how men actually learn to love better. Yes, eager to get some feedback from Sophia and Maya Reyes coming up here later on in the show. And we're going to talk most about when men never trained those emotional skills. And then we got morning focus. I'm leaning back into yesterday's big experience for me. I got my eyes checked, guys. And I'm going to lean into, I was scared. True story. I'm talking fear. My own personal fears, putting it into the show here today. A real look into my personal experience visiting the eye doctor. Yeah, hey. There's something for everyone, isn't there? And then as always, we're going to wrap it up with the community corner, guys. Bottom of hour 2, Maya Reyes comes in. We're going to tackle some conversations happening over on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack. So, guys, if you are new here, I invite you to come join us in the comments. If you're not new here, I invite you to come join us in the comments. So grab whatever it is that fuels you in the morning, guys. The coffee, the water, the morning wood. Give it a rub, as Charlie would say, and settle in because the morning loop, it starts right now.
Morning, fellas. Yesterday, one song yanked everybody back a decade, but nostalgia does not fix what your habits are doing today. While we were in our feelings, some guy bragged, 2 years, 13,480 hours, 50 podcast episodes.
Around here, we sneeze and hit 50 shows in a week and a half without noticing.
They have a polished podcast, and you have 1,800 hours of live, messy, unscripted reps sitting here in the archive.
Grab your coffee, enjoy the throwbacks later, and this morning you are building a digital franchise, not celebrating episode 50 someday.
Hey. Oh, yeah, we got it was the new transition, Jimmy. I wasn't ready for that. I was like, okay, I guess I got 8 seconds. I only had 2. Well done on the transition out of that segment. The host is learning too. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Hey, listen, you guys can join the show with us live right now. The comments are open. Yep. Vertical stream, horizontal stream, they're all combined together. You guys can join the conversation with us in the comments. Come say hi. And if you guys are not joining us live, well, I'm not sure why not. I would invite you to come join the show later on in the on-demand experience. Not. Get up and get after it and come join us live, guys. And hey, Grace, I know you're out there watching. Welcome to the big show, Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. And hey, guys, second hour, we're going to open the phone lines. I was talking to a fella a couple days ago. I was like, hey, how do you bring people in live? I'm like, dude, we dial back to 1996 and open the phone lines up. He's like, really? I'm like, yes. The phone lines are open, 431-300-3005. We will get to some phone calls coming up in the second hour to see who's out there, to see who wants to join the conversation. And with Lady Drew around, the phone lines are pretty packed. So I would invite you guys to consider joining us in the show later on today. All right, we got the big dog, Johnny, joining us here in a few moments. He's probably stuck in the can. Hey, I got some topics maybe for tomorrow around the can experience. Yep, because we know we have an expert that deals into the can experience. And hey, guys, second hour, I'm going to get into Beholder. I'm going to get into the conversation I had with myself yesterday around some fear. And I tackled it, went to my eye doctor. Good news is I'm going to see for a long time. Oh, knock on wood. Knock on wood, knock on wood, knock on wood. All right, let's start it off, guys. So, rumor has it, we're making our way to Mars in the future. And I'm pretty excited about that, actually. I think it's kind of neat. So I got a couple topics here about Mars because as we keep building the show, and I'm thinking probably in the next, 10 years, 15 years or so, we're going to be at Mars. So I figured let's start talking about that stuff now. So by the time we get there, we can relate to some of the things we talked about. Well, listen, Sterling Preston, apparently the National Institute of Standards and Technology have figured out that Mars clocks run faster than Earth's. What's going on with that, boys?
You think your days fly by here? NIST just proved clocks on Mars literally tick faster than ours. They're doing Einstein-level math so astronauts don't miss meetings by microseconds. Meanwhile, some of us can't show up on time on Earth. Mars time might need these insanely precise clocks, but your life still runs on Earth. So what are you actually doing with your minutes?
Well, it's funny because we think this is a big deal. Or, I'm sorry, you might be thinking to yourself right now, but Keith, why is this a big deal? Well, it's not yet, but it's going to be. Think about it, right? So if we're communicating with folks over there, these microseconds, these latency, this time that we have to communicate with somebody is might take longer. So there's no question we are going to be sending humans to another planet here in our lifetime. So figure out how to tell time is actually quite important. And what I found quite interesting about this whole thing was that it was a 3-body problem, because it becomes quite extremely complicated, right? You got to deal with you got to deal with 4. You got the sun, the earth, the moon, and Mars. So we learned that the moon has different time, Mars is going to have different time, and then we got Earth, right? So we got this heavy lifting that figuring out how we're going to send folks over there. 477 microseconds difference behind. So again, like I started the show, guys, it's about problem solving, right? Speaking of problem solving, if we want to build stuff on Mars, we need concrete. What's going on, Johnny?
What's up, my brother? How
are you, pal?
Good. What's happening with you?
Oh, I am awesome here today. I woke up this morning as a good entrepreneur, and what I love about being an entrepreneur is the idea of tackling problems. I love it, man. I love it. I think I was been thinking about it. I think it's what I really enjoy the most. I enjoy building, but to build, you got to solve problems, and it's just one problem to the next problem to the next problem to the next problem. And I remember Elon saying that.
There's something really empowering with just saying, whatever fucking hits me.
Yeah.
Give me a lemon. I'm going to make a lemonade. Hit me.
Yeah.
What do you got? Come on. Is that all you got?
Well, so it's interesting to hear you say, because I was reflecting on ICUC and what we built there. And, it's a going concern today. It still runs. There's people employed there. It still serves clients. And as I was thinking about that experience, John, that was just nonstop solving problems. So when people ask, how do you build a company that is sustainable? You have to solve a problem that is a sustainable problem forever. Because then once you can solve it, it just lives on its own, right? And so it's fun. I woke up this morning to a whole set of new problems to solve, which I'm really enjoying. So how was your last 22 hours, man? And then, hey, I started this conversation with, because we know we're going to Mars. I'm a curious soul. I love being curious. And that's another thing I was thinking about yesterday. You know what I'm joking about building a show with you is because we like to eat our own dog food, every metaphor about, just saying what we do. This show and this experience daily is about being curious and feeding our brains and learning, because the alternative is you're dying. And that 96-year-old dude we had on the show as a video clip a few months back, Johnny, what did he say the number one thing for longevity was? Constantly learning. He's like, why would I want to learn about this? He goes, some people are sitting back and I don't want to learn. I want to learn every single day. Look at your mom. She's 90, learning. Well,
you heard what they did with Charlie Munger, right?
Yes. Learn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, they basically brought a bunch of, when he retired, his brain wasn't being challenged like it was when he was investing.
Yeah.
Buying companies. So they basically, I'm sure they'd have to pay these people. Fuck, anybody who had a chance to talk to Charlie for an hour is going to be fucking standing in line.
Yes.
But they brought these other really fucking heavy hitter.
Yeah.
Like one of the guys one of the guys from Shark Tank.
Yes.
The guy that always sits on the far right.
Yes.
He's Canadian too, I think, actually.
Hershevik, Robert Hershevik. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
He was one of them. And they would basically bring these guys in 2, 3, 4 a day, and they would just rotate on Charlie to just have these stimulating conversations to keep his brain firing. And he fucking, his health leveled right out.
Yeah.
He started, when he first retired, it was a little bit of a decline.
I remember. Yes. Yeah. There's something to be said for that, man. There's something to be said for constantly learning, and I'm certainly enjoying the experience of building and learning. Hey, speaking of learning, if we're going to send people to Mars, we are going to need concrete to build buildings. Jimmy, how do they learn to do that?
Scientists just found a bacterial tag team that turns Mars dust into concrete so we don't ship building supplies from Earth. One microbe makes oxygen and protection from radiation. The other basically spits out cement. Your garage projects feel small now. If bacteria can harden Martian dirt at room temperature, you can probably harden a few routines here on Earth.
Do it again, fascinating to me. It's like, okay, we got to build a building over there. How are we going to do it? And I got to be honest, man, I was been thinking about this. Like, how are they going to send materials from Earth? Of course not. So they discovered materials there to make concrete, man. That's fucking cool to me.
I was watching this thing on the Colosseum in Rome.
Oh yeah. Right? Fascinating.
Something about their concrete.
Yes.
where it was like it was different. They put something else in there. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But it was like self-mending or something.
Interesting. We think about you think about the Colosseum. You think about the Inca ruins. Like I was down in Peru years ago. Like it's just that's why I believe it's important to talk about the future, because if we're going to talk about the past, that we're kind of in the middle of that, right? So if they're building concrete structures 1,000 years ago, how are they going to build the concrete structure of some sort over on Mars one day? So I think it's fascinating.
What I thought was, okay, when I fell asleep, this is one of my learning things I was watching.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck. My question was, why are we not still using this shit if it's so superior?
Yes.
And I ended up falling asleep, not seeing the end of it. But
so we don't know the answer.
No. But it was just like, I'm sure it was probably too cost prohibitive or God knows what. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's like, fuck you. We have the ability to do this shit that we're not doing.
Well, brother, so I'm going to age us here quickly, but isn't that the same thing though? It's like your mom would say, Johnny, they're not making washing machines like they used to. The washing machine I bought lasted 300 years. Now they last 10 years. So, because we know that business is like, okay, wait a minute, we need to put a life cycle on this product. So John buys another one. Good morning, Jay. Right. So
one of my neighbors, so funny you say that. One of my neighbors, when I lived in NorCal.
Yeah.
He was a mobile appliance mechanic.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I knew him pretty well. And he's like, look, these machines are designed to last 4 years, whether you buy the expensive one or not. So don't think you're buying longevity. You're buying shine and more buttons.
Yes, that's it. And then we both know how they incentivize you as the dealer to make profits is they sell you the up warranty, right? Hey, Johnny, you buy the extra warranty for $1,000. It's 88% margin profit on it. They know very well the device or the product's not going to last maybe 4, 5, or 6 after that. So it's a total fucking, I hate to use the word scam, but it's a total, it's a racket, Johnny. It's absolutely a racket. Here's something else I thought was interesting. So we're also talking about keeping our brains sharp. Right. We talk about this often on the show, and there has been, often we talk about, are we spending too much time on our devices, which are making our brains not sharp? Well, there's some new research that is suggesting otherwise. Jimmy, let's run this one.
The Washington Post says checking your phone 100 times a day is normal now. Your brain calls it chaos.
It's not just screen time. Every little check resets your focus, then steals 23 minutes to get it back.
We're not banning phones this morning. We're asking why they sleep on your nightstand and run your attention all day.
What they're finding is that there's a Singapore management university. They found that by us checking more often, it was actually more distracting for our brains. If you think about it, maybe some logic, right? It's the concept.
Listen to all the fucking heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And what they're saying is, you need fucking focus. You need these 3-4 hour chunks with no distraction. You get so much more done.
Yes.
When we're multitasking, I think we're getting a lot done, but are we really? I mean, granted, if you're multitasking and you're in this place where you're just getting all these little bullshitty things done, that's one thing. But if you're supposed to be really getting something deep, you got to turn the rest of the world off.
Yeah, it's so true, isn't it? It's funny because I was having this conversation with Lauren last week. It's like, when I was doing developing some coding and some background stuff, you kind of get into I put my headphones on, like my noise canceling headphones, and I turn notifications off. You kind of get into a state, right? To your point, couple hours, 2-3 hours. Think about good book writers or good authors, right? Or good music artists. They go away for a long time. They're not like they're gone for a while. It's like, hey, where did John go? Well, he's sitting in some cabin up in California writing a book for the last 6 months, right? Value in that whole thing, right? So
for sure.
And
isolation, baby.
Yeah, isolation, absolutely. So here's something else that I thought was quite interesting. So obviously AI is, we're 3 years into this world now of AI, and it's all over the planet. It's taken a big part of
3 years now since it's been here.
Yeah, so ChatGPT was released 3 years ago, last Friday actually. So it was last weekend. So we're on a 3-year anniversary. But what I found interesting about this conversation, John, was we both know it is sucking power left and right. Like it's sucking power everywhere. Right. right? Just power, 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 power. Well, the Microsoft CEO actually made an interesting comment. He's like, artificial intelligence needs to earn social permission, because there's now people, there's communities. For example, maybe your community is saying, we don't want a big data center in our backyard because it's going to suck all the power out and it's going to wreck our community. And there's some communities that are pushing back on data centers and AI stuff, and we're the CEO of Microsoft.
But they push back on everything, dude.
So it's funny because I had a rant on this too, saying you're either in or not. You either want to be part of the economic engine of the next 50 years, or you want to stay in the last 50 years. So I understand the social permission, but it's like John saying, this is coming. Are you on? It's like you building a road and you saying, Keith, I need to expropriate your house. No, you don't need to. Well, I'm building my road, so my road's going right through your fucking front yard, whether you like it or not. Right?
Dude, we were Terry and I. When we were up in Carmel. We were going to go play pickleball.
Yeah.
And there was a fucking park that had a pickleball court.
Okay.
We went to the park.
Yes.
And the fucking thing, they had banned pickleball.
Are you kidding me?
Because of the sound. So
shut up.
Forget the fucking power plants and shit. Just listen. You're going to get pushed back no matter what you're talking about.
Because of the sound.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question for you though, brother.
Yeah.
So AI has been here 3 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a two-part question. First is, when it first hit, what was your thought in terms of what was the goal of AI? Now, basically give you a chance to redefine that answer. So you got two answers.
Oh, yeah.
One, before you watched it develop for 3 years. Two,
yes.
Now that you've seen it develop for 3 years. What was the purpose?
Oh, yeah.
What was trying to be? What's AI's purpose?
That's a great question, Johnny. Jesus, that's a philosophical question. So I think my first response would be, and take this with everything but love, but I don't know if we still know what its purpose is, and I don't mean that as walking away from the answer, because I'm going to wrap some opinion on that. So when I first used it 3 years ago, I saw the technological advancement. So like, holy shit, there's all this knowledge now readily available to me. Now I understand how it works. It's predictive text. It's not really fully knowledge, but still knowledge in a sense. So what I first saw it, I was like, okay, this is going to be quite disruptive. And I guess for me, I was able to see where we are today, which is why I'm so excited about today. Let me explain. Because when we first saw it, it was text. But I knew that text was going to become image, which was going to become video, which is going to move us into this immersive world. So what's its purpose?
You're still spitting out the first answer, correct?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I am. Yeah. So I would say that when it first came out, its purpose was to help move society forward with technology. Have we achieved that? I don't know. I don't, when I think about the 3 years that's passed us, I think we've moved society forward. I do think we've moved society forward. If I think about what we've achieved in the last 3 years, John, I'm actually quite, in some ways, nervous about the next 3 years, because I think it's only going to accelerate faster than what we've experienced in the last 3 years. And my fears are, and this is not getting talked often enough about, but there's 5,000 jobs that have been cut over there. There's 4,000 jobs that are cut over there. There's 3,000 jobs cut over there. And then over time, in a year from now, I'm going to wake up and say, hey, Johnny, so we've just lost over 8 million jobs because of AI, and they have been replaced. Now, whether that's bad or good, there's new jobs that are going to be created. But it's clear to me, and listen, pal, too, I was part of the cellular phone revolution. When I was here working in Winnipeg, John, when these devices came out, I helped set up the network here. So I'm kind of going through a revolution again when this changed our lives. So I don't know if that fully answered the first part of the question. And then today, I'm more bullish on it than ever. And I think that's why I'm so confident as we head into 2026. That we're building something here, that we're ahead of the curve. And I'm going to say to you, I was talking with Maurice, my business partner, last couple of days, there's some urgency for me right now, because the timing back when I was building ICUC, I'm kind of seeing things the same way. It's time to go. It's time to shit or get off the pot and go with a few things, because over the next 18 months, you're either going to be in it or not. It's only getting faster, and it's only going to keep changing the world quicker. Here's another example. I saw somebody yesterday who was talking about how they're building their podcast. and they were lamenting about all the hours they were putting in to build their podcast. And I was like, why? I was like, what are you doing? Like, why? Like, are you still using an encyclopedia and a calculator and some pencil and paper? Right. So, we're going through some interesting times, brother. We really are. And the problem is because it's software, it's not hardware. Here's the other difference, John. When you were carrying around a BlackBerry and then an iPhone, everybody saw this, right? So it was a physical thing. You could see the change. When you can't see it, it's very different. You follow me?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Because it can change, but it's nothing visual to see the change.
That's it. Until
its behavior is the only thing that changes.
You wait until physical AI starts showing up when Terry's like, hey, Johnny, yeah? Well, you're on the show this morning. I ordered our first robot. It's coming next week, right? And next thing you know, you have it in your house cleaning, and then your neighbor has one. And the next thing you know, you guys are driving somewhere. You're going to come on a show one day and say, hey, man, I was fucking driving through this town, and I saw a bunch of robots in this town. That's going to be the next cultural change. And everybody's like, oh, okay, I see things changing here quite rapidly again. That's around the corner. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, there's no question. You've already seen it. It's just you got to get these robots to stop kicking the asses of the programmers if people settle down a little bit.
That's exactly it. Okay, we got Hunter Stoller joining us here coming up in a few moments here. I see him in the green room going, good morning, Hunter. I see you coming up here. I got a couple things, though, I'm going to throw on here. Johnny, I got something funny, man. I don't even know how to comment on this. I'm finding fun stuff for us to keep the conversation light and humorous and motivating. Jimmy, there's an epic spot that we got to put on the table, man. Check this out.
Welcome to Epic Spot, where we judge the internet's wild workouts from our little dock.
You sweat on the timeline, we sit by the water and talk about it. Today's guy is in a tiny home gym doing karate cardio like he is defending the fridge.
Green shirt, camo pants, serious face, absolutely no control.
He is throwing kicks like every light switch in that room owes him money.
Yeah. You can hear those floorboards writing their will.
Real talk. The moves are ridiculous, but the confidence is kind of epic.
Most of you will not even shadow box in your hallway. This guy is out here dropping a full kung fu musical.
Epic Spot is where we bring you the wildest workouts the internet can cough up. You do not have to risk a pulled hamstring. We do the scrolling, you get the show.
Dude, loved his energy. I saw his video and I was like, this guy gets up, gets after it, and doesn't care what anybody thinks.
There was a time on social media when I used to have this thing where I would just kind of cuss and rant at the camera about, not being a pussy.
Yes.
And I call it, deep water motivation. And it would kind of evolve, I would call it, anyway.
Yeah.
So when people would make videos, they would imitate me. Then we would put them on the story. He did a bunch of imitations.
That's pretty good, actually. That would be pretty good. Well, yeah. I saw this guy.
But dude, you got to say, I mean, that's a fucking long piece of fucking jumping around, dude.
Oh my God, I know. I was thinking,
that motherfucker, dude. I mean, I would be you would see me slowing down at the end of that. That's like running around a track. You'd see that last stretch where the punches are getting slower, the jumps are getting lower, This motherfucker just grinning away, dude.
I figured you and I could relate because that might have been Husky Keith one day. That might have been Husky Keith doing that one day, when he was jumping around doing that. But dude, the guy's got energy, man. Like he's got energy and moves and not a care in the world. Again,
I think there's a possibility he's a little special.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I don't mean that in a bad way.
No.
I think he's got fucking balls. He just puts his shit out there.
Yes.
But if you watch enough,
yes,
you just get a little hint of it.
Absolutely. Hey, coming up in a couple minutes, we're going to do dumb shit award, Jimmy, before we bring Hunter in. Most people think this guy has always been the shredded health coach. Plot twist. The guy coming up, John, used to crush, Johnny, almost $100 a day on Chick-fil-A and shit food.
Who?
This dude coming up. This guy lost 50 pounds. He's lost 50 pounds. He saved over 350 people. He went from eating Chick-fil-A daily to changing his life. So we got a transformation story coming up. Hunter Stoller joining.
Chick-fil-A, I mean, fuck, that's the best choice, isn't it? Come on.
If you're going to eat shitty food, go to Chick-fil-A and crush chickens, eh? But before
I ate Chick-fil-A.
But before we do that, some
Yeah,
dude,
like, I just did cocaine instead of heroin.
some dude decided that he missed his judgment class, and today's dumb shit award goes to Jimmy. Let's run it. Watch.
Today's dumb shit award goes to the guy who dove at concrete.
Bro aimed for deep end, landed in hardware section.
If you pace on the board that long, do not jump. Nervous feet mean grab a towel, not attempt to flip. That landing sounded like somebody slammed a trunk on his face. You stuck the flip straight into the pool deck. 4 feet is for standing, not Olympic auditions. If concrete is closer than water, you are the caution sign. Today's dumb shit award goes to every deck diver out there. Fellas, dive into water, not flooring.
I don't
Was that a fucking rooftop he went off of? Because I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was like on a platform where swimmers. I was like, fuck, where? There's a big fucking platform. Where are the guardrails?
So look where he landed, dude. Like he landed on the fucking edge of the pool. Like he didn't even
go in the water.
He didn't even hit he hit the fucking his head and his shoulders. Like look where he ends up. I'm like, dude, how do you misjudge? Like look where he lands.
Oh fuck! So his head just barely went in the water.
How do you? And I'm not laughing at the dude.
How do you, and he walks away too.
How do you? I don't know how you just misjudge.
Well, look at him. He doesn't look like he's falling. He looks like he's going, oh, fuck, when he's going down. Look at the leg. Look at the leg. Look at the leg. He's not going down. He's not fucking spreading out like he's trying to be cool. He's thinking he's going to do something. That leg is like goofy, like, oh, shit.
Oh, my
Something's
God.
going wrong.
Boom, right into the pool. All right, Sophia. Man. Let's do this. Let's bring in our guest coming up here. We got Hunter Stoller. Sophia Grant, let's introduce Hunter Stoller. Johnny, you got about 80 seconds. If you want to sneak away, we'll come back, bring Hunter Stoller in and have a good conversation. Sophia, let's do it.
If you're the guy who keeps showing up for work, but not for your own health, this story is for you. You plan the perfect reset, empty the fridge, then one hard week hits and takeout boxes sneak back into the house. Hunter Stoller knows that loop. Years ago, he carried 50 extra pounds, stubborn acne, and never-ending fatigue. By day, he sat in American Express dashboards as a marketing analyst. Coffee beside the keyboard, and energy burned out by lunch. During COVID lockdown, his New York apartment was office and food court. Smoothies, hot bars, Chick-fil-A, frozen yogurt. About $80 disappearing daily with zero nutrition awareness. In that same apartment, his transformation started. He began learning simple, healthy swaps he could repeat instead of chasing perfect diets. Those swaps led to 50 pounds lost, clearer skin, and better energy. They also saved Hunter almost $11,000 a year. He shared his meals on a private Instagram. Friends kept asking about it. That curiosity grew into Health with Hunter and his first clients. Today, he's coached 350 plus men and women, and hundreds of thousands follow his health swaps, money tips, and simple meal ideas online. Most of them only see the coach on camera, thinking he's always been the jacked dude. Hunter's message is simple. You don't get healthy by jumping from 0 to 100. You do it one small swap at a time. Hunter, welcome to Mornings in the Lab. We're thrilled to have you here today.
Our own, very own, the Home and Smoke Show, Sophia Grant, bringing in today's guest. So, hey, most people think this guy has always been shredded. Health coach. True story. He has not been. Nope. He lost himself a lot of weight, and he's here today to join us. He used to work in American Express as a marketing analyst while secretly building his health coaching business on the side. Certified health coach, has helped over 350 people. Let's bring him in, myself and Johnny. Hunter Stoller, welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. What's going on, brother?
Thank you for having me. That was a great introduction, and she nailed it. I mean, everything that she said was so true, and you don't go from 0 to 100 overnight, and that was great.
So, got to get after, man. You lived at Chick-fil-A for the longest time. So you probably heard Keith and Johnny joking. If you're gonna choose the shitty food, I guess you're gonna go to the top, eh? Gonna go to Chick-fil-A.
Well, I'm thinking fucking $80 a day. Christ, you could have been eating fucking whatever you wanted, bro. You could have been having fucking filet mignons every time you ate.
So honestly, I could have. I used to get groceries for the whole week, but I still would eat out every single meal. So I was basically spending money out at restaurants and cafes and smoothie shops, and also letting the food in my fridge and pantry go bad.
Interesting. So I'm loving this already, because what you were telling one story to yourself, right? Going to the grocery store, being the hypocrite. I'm being loving, but being the hypocrite of what I'm supposed to be doing, and then silently hiding your own journeys and going out and sabotage the self-sabotaging behavior that Keith and John talk about all the time. And Hunter, just so you know too, because you might not know this, but Johnny and Keith come from worlds of husky Keith and fat bitch John. So we can relate to your stories.
Yeah, I love that. That was in college, and it was before COVID when I lost 50 pounds. And then a switch just flipped in my mind in 2021 on Thanksgiving. And that's when everything changed. And I started being aware of what I was eating, how much I was eating, and I feel better. I helped clear my skin that way. And it really goes to show that food is medicine, and you need to be aware of what and how much you're eating.
Oh, I love that. John, get this, man, because you often talk about symptoms and problems and getting to the root of it. Hunter had been on Accutane, like a very intense acne medication, John. And he had been on it twice before weight loss, but it kept coming back. And I'm going to make some assumptions here. Hunter, you couldn't connect the dots, wondering what the fuck, until John, he started making some changes to his diet. And guess what happened, Anderson?
Man, fuck, man. What we eat and how we live are the two biggest factors in our health. And the medical system, I mean, so much of it is about treating symptoms, not problems.
Completely. And I just thought food is food, but I never thought that over COVID, when I was on live stream or FaceTime with my friends until 4 a.m. at 3 a.m. having 4 servings of Fruity Pebbles with a sugary milk, I didn't think there was any problem to that.
Dude.
I did a full 180. People always say 360, but I went fully backwards in the right way. And I took my health into my own hands.
Well, 360 means you'd actually turn around and keep going where you.
Yeah, that's why when people say 360, I'm like, you mean 180?
Yeah, I'm not fat again.
Yeah, and I've been able to maintain that 50-pound weight loss and keep it off for good, and continue to build muscle and lose more fat on top of that. And that's exactly what I want.
Yeah. Hey, Hunter, take John and Keith into the moment before the moment. John's heard me ask this question many times, but there was the moment when you made the decision to say, okay, I got to change my life. But there were moments building up to that you would maybe get there, and then you might self-sabotage yourself. You might get there, self-sabotage yourself. And this is maybe the stuff you haven't talked about before, but we pride ourselves in giving these safe spaces. Take us through those moments, Hunter, as you were building up to get the courage where enough's enough with fucking Chick-fil-A. Was it a bill? Was it acne? Was it a partner? Or was it somebody saying, dude, you're fat? You look at you like, what was it? Was it your own mirror? What was it?
So that's a good question. One thing that comes to mind is, and your nutrition controls your weight, and obviously you build muscle in the gym and by eating more protein. But so Thanksgiving of 2020, right before 2021, is when I had that wake up call. And that's when my mom and sister nudged me and said to me, like, Hunter, look at your plate. Like, this is crazy. It was like a pile of all of the refined carbs and junk. And that's what really woke me up. But before that, one thing that I could remember, and this is from other people intervening, my mom, it's so funny because fast forward to 4 or 5 years later now, I am at the gym pretty much every single day, and I love it, and it's a part of my lifestyle. I get my steps in, all the stuff. But 5 to 6 years ago, I remember my mom being like, we're paying for your gym membership. You haven't gone in 5 or 6 months. What are you like? Are you going to go or should I cancel? And I was like, Mom, I went 2 weeks ago, like thinking that was recent. And like, that's fine. But now I realize that the gym is something that I used to hate, and now it's something that I love. And I find the gym to kind of be my break from work now. And that is truly another 180 of something before my big moment when I truly had that reflection point. But that was something that was so crazy to me because I used to view the gym as a chore and something that I had to do. Now I view it as something that I get to do and something that I enjoy and love.
You talk about healthy, simple swaps as your core content. So basically swapping out this for that. When you talk to clients, what's the swap you recommend that gets the most resistance from people? Because they're like, well, fuck, I can't swap that. What is it, Hunter?
So that's a great question. I honestly think when it comes to clients, most of them do come to me for weight loss, not just, feeling better, because a lot of people think that by losing weight, they will feel better, which is true. But I also like focusing on quality of ingredients. So I would say I focus mostly on portion control with my clients and just understanding what you're eating and having clients for the first week or two measure their food so they know if they're making a smoothie, they think they're putting 1 tablespoon of almond or peanut butter in there, but it's really 4 or 5. And that's sabotage, along a weight loss journey. But when it comes to other stuff, feeling better, I like to focus on things like, making swaps in your home at first, maybe like a laundry detergent if you have acne or a lot of irritation, even deodorant. Like so many people don't realize that what they're putting on their body matters almost just as much as what you're putting in your body. And then I get into the more food stuff, just making sure they're not having as much refined sugar, making sure they're not, drowning their meals with carbs and things like that. And then we go from there.
Jon, I like some of the coaching he's throwing out there because he's talking about bigger things than just, remove the processed foods. He's asking his clients to ask bigger questions, right? Like detergent or like, and I'm just thinking about things that we take for granted but have massive effects. And he also dropped the word Andersen. We talk about often on the show about feeling, right? And Hunter, we don't think enough people lean into feelings. We get too caught up in our scores and metrics when. John and Keith laugh all the time going, yeah, my sleep score says it was 81, but I feel like shit.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good point. And something that I also will vouch for in the workout world. Obviously, I said this earlier, but I think nutrition matters 95% of the puzzle. That's 95% of the equation. But you have to find exercises that you actually enjoy and that help you build muscle. That's important for everyone, whether it's a high intensity class or Pilates or just traditional strength training in the gym. You have to find what works for you and that will make you feel good. Because if you're doing a type of workout class that you see someone who has your dream body type do, they might love that, but you might hate it or it might not agree well with your body. So you have to find what aligns with you, but is also helping you build more muscle.
Andersen, the word?
What's that?
What's that word we're going to throw out there that he's leaning into right now? It starts with an I. Interest.
Yes, 100%. 100%. I think the key takeaway here is if you break it all, I'm big on simplifying shit, brother.
Yeah.
And you've talked a lot about what you put in your mouth. What you put in your mouth is such a huge piece of this equation. And you got to kind of learn to identify what you're putting in your mouth. And a lot of times people will eat something, they don't realize that they're eating is still shit. You got to start to understand, what are the things that are hurting me and what are the things that are not. And when you are eating something that's hurting, you got to look at it like, okay, I know that this is fucked up, but I'm just going to do a little bit of it. I'm going to choose to fucking suck a little cock rather than a fucking giant cock. That's going to really help, really fuck me up tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm a big one on that. I'm like, look, there's things in life that we got to do that we don't want to do. That's my analogy. Well, you got to kind of figure out when it comes to dieting, what is it that you're putting in your mouth?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's when you talked about doing the workouts, Hunter, what we often talk about on this show and with our guests is this idea of interest. Right. And I love that you leaned into that, because if you're not interested in what you're doing, you're not going to have any success with it. So, right. And I love that you're like, find something you like. So, Jon talks pickleball or body weight or lifting weights or whatever. Find something you're interested in, because if you're interested in it, you're going to sustain it.
Yeah. Life's too short to be doing something every day that you hate.
100%.
Whether it's your job or, a hobby or your workout, because there's a zillion workouts in the world. Like,
bam. What do you like to do?
Yeah.
If going to the gym is your thing, go to the gym. If it's not, like when a client comes to me, I want to know, what type of activity do you enjoy to do? We all have preferences. Our lives are filled with preferences. It doesn't matter what we prefer. I'm the most liberal dude on the planet. It doesn't make difference what your color is, what you choose to like, you dislike. That's your life, and I'll support it. I'm good with that, but when you build a plan for the rest of someone's life, it has to be built around the shit that they want to do.
Correct.
Not around shit they don't want to do.
One of the biggest things I learned in my health coaching program was the idea of bio-individuality, where there's no one size fits all to anything health related. And it's very important, because if a woman comes to me, she's 35 years old, and she has 4 kids, that's very different from a woman who's 35 years old who has no kids and lives a completely different life. You don't give them the same nutrition information. Some people might have allergies. Some people might hate other foods. They have dietary preferences. So it's very important and to understand that there's no one size fits all to nutrition, health, wellness, anything.
100%.
Hunter, you live in New York. You live in New York City, Hunter. Sorry, Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I think the coaches that have the most success are the ones that simplify shit, and that actually look at how that simplification formula connects to that person.
Yes.
And when you're simplifying and you're recognizing there's no one fits all. I mean, you got 2 of the biggest things nailed, brother. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years. And, as soon as you get outside, I mean, for the most part, people come to me that like to lift weights. And if they don't like to lift weights, that's, it's pretty rare it happens. Yeah. But then at that point, okay, well, then we've got to build your physical activity around something else. Do you like to play basketball? Do you like to go for walks? I mean, I had a client a couple of years ago, and him and his wife, they were swingers, and they had this like crazy robust sex schedule. And that was like a huge part of his activity. If that's how you're getting your heart pumping, go for it, brother.
That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah. Hey, Hunter. So I got to be honest, man, as I'm listening to you talk, you certainly drink much of the same Kool-Aid we drink here on the show. Simplification, sitting down and customizing things for customers. And it's clear to me, at least the evidence would suggest to me, that you are one disciplined motherfucker. You live in New York City, the land of actually endless food temptations everywhere you go. Yeah. So how do you walk around? And I'm being serious, man. How do you walk around and navigate New York City and stay disciplined? And I mean it as a compliment, because you got to be disciplined in order to make good choices, especially in a town like New York City.
You really have to. New York City, there's an amazing place on every single street.
Everywhere, yes.
It could definitely get hard at times, but I think that being prepared whenever I leave my apartment is key. I never. What
does that mean to you? Hold on. What does that mean to you? So for example, because John talks about often too, when he leaves, like he's got food in his pocket. He's like, if I gotta stop at a Costco to grab a roast turkey, but there's
another fucking doozy right there. He's already hit.
Yeah,
Hunter, you're crushing the shit we talk about here.
I know.
You're fucking so on the nails. You're so on the money. It's fucking crazy. I'm listening to you talking. I'm fucking loving it, because we need more people like you that are breaking it down simple.
Yeah,
interest. We talk a ton of interest.
Yes,
and then the word that he just laid down right there. Prepared.
Yeah. If you're not preparing, you're preparing to fail, and that's really
come
important.
on, man.
John, what the hell are we needed here for? It's Hunter's show.
But what I mean by that is, I never go to any events or meals starving, because I know if I'm going starving, then I'm going to overeat the bread basket or the whatever it is, and also. I just never leave starving or very hungry. I think that's one of the biggest things that I could do. You could eat so much more in your own control, in your home, your apartment.
One of the rules I give my clients is never be hungry. When you're hungry, you make bad choices.
Yeah, get ahead of your hunger and eat a little before you get hungry. Exactly.
Yep. Those events you're talking about. Love it. When you don't, what I tell my people, look, if you don't know what's there, at very least, put some fucking almonds in your pocket. And if you're fucking worried about it, eat them before you go in, or go in, take a look. And if there's nothing there for you, fucking leave or go to the bathroom, do what you got to do. Eat those fucking almonds. That will put you in a better space to make decisions with what's in front of you.
Wow. Exactly.
Yeah. Dude, Hunter, I'm loving your shit, man. You're dropping bombs, truth bombs left and right here. So discipline, prepared, interest.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. And then you end up in this whole situation by accident. You start posting your meals on Instagram years ago for friends. Next thing you know, here's what I'm assuming is happening. You're going through your journey. You start posting meals. You're starting to lose some weight. Your confidence is rising. Maybe your skin's clearing up. People start knocking on your door saying what's happened. And then Johnny, over the last couple of years, he built himself a 6-figure business by accident because he's helping people solve their own problems. Is that simply did it happen as simple as that, Hunter?
It really did. I mean, I started posting because my friends and my roommates were asking me what I was eating in college.
Yeah.
And then I would post pictures of my meals. And then it slowly gravitated to me just posting videos at grocery stores, or, walking through my meals in videos and showing simple swaps. And that is really what helped me grow a following.
Well, that story is very similar to mine. I mean, I had been living the life. And then once I started helping people I would always help people, but then when I actually allowed people to pay me to help, then when you're doing something that's has some fucking value, it just kind of takes shape by itself. My thing just fucking, I was rolled over. Like, holy shit, man.
Exactly.
This thing just turned into something. But that's, when you're doing something, another thing too, like going back to the beginning, what you put in your mouth, that one of the things you mentioned was portion control. Not even, okay, you went into, let's understand what you're eating. But the very fucking first step is don't get full. That's two of the rules I give my clients: never hungry, never full. If you can nail those two down, you've like set up some guardrails that will keep you from going off into the fucking weeds. Then it's when you get off in the weeds when you really fuck up.
No, that's a really good point. And I've never heard it that simple before, where it's don't get full. And what that means is eat to a point where you are comfortable and you're not hungry anymore, but don't get so full like you feel after Thanksgiving every single day.
Oh, brother, we're all fatties, so we can all understand this. But we eat till we're uncomfortable, right? Then the discomfort goes away. We think we're hungry. We eat till we're just uncomfortable. So we're constantly overeating the whole time. We never actually wait long enough until you experience hunger to understand what hunger is.
Absolutely.
So I have to define these rules with people. I said, look, I know this sounds silly. But we're going to define rule 1 and rule 2.
And it requires a lot of discipline.
Rule 1 is pretty easy, but let's just be sure. Let's make sure we understand it. Rule 1 means a growl. Your stomach moves. That symbolizes, that's the definition. Rule 2 means never be full, means you didn't get a signal that tells you to stop.
And that requires a lot of discipline. And
100%.
A lot of discipline.
But it goes back to what you said, portion control.
Yeah, exactly.
Hunter, in your journey, I love this too, man, because we all have our stories to how we get to where we are. And John, get this one, man. So during his journey, during COVID, Hunter randomly discovered Weight Watchers, and not to be embarrassing about it, but you discovered it, and you went through a journey with that. You lost 25 pounds, but I'm suspecting what happened is that
that's what that is portion. That's all that is portion control.
I was just going to say that Weight Watchers is what taught me how to build my meals and snacks. And it taught me what foods I should be prioritizing and what foods I should be reducing.
Yeah. And then the next thing is to understand what you're putting in there in terms of the content. Is it something is it something that I like, or is it something my body likes?
Yeah, exactly.
What was the biggest takeaway from that, Hunter? That was the biggest takeaway. It taught you portion control, and it taught you the value of food, I got to expect, right? And what's curious to me with that is that regardless if it's Weight Watchers or whatever it is, John, we go back to what we're teaching our kids in school. Like, we're not really teaching our kids this stuff. We give them the food pyramid, and it's all fucking wrong. But when nobody's teaching the kids, what Hunter taught, or what you teach, right? And that's where I sometimes get frustrated, right, Hunter? So that's what you use Weight Watchers for, the learning program for you, wasn't it, Hunter?
Yes, it really taught me. Truly, to put it very simple, it taught me portion control, and it again taught me what foods are things, just like what John was saying, that your body wants, and what foods you could still eat. Nothing's really off limits, but what foods that you should be reducing in your diet, because again, a tablespoon of oil or a nut butter is very different from 3 or 4 servings of that.
Right. People say to me often, "What do you like to eat?"
Yeah.
And I say, "I don't know. I don't eat what I like to eat." What do you mean? Well, I eat what my body likes me to eat, because that makes me feel good.
Yeah. It's a great saying.
That is a great saying. Hunter, when we're going to work towards wrapping up here in a couple seconds here, brother, but I do want to get into self-sabotaging behavior because, we
all know that one well too, baby.
We do. Yeah. And, I went through some self-sabotaging behavior a couple days ago when I kept trying to get my task list done. Next thing you know, I was up 2 hours past my bedtime making bad food decisions. Hunter, it's fighting food addiction, fighting food challenges never goes away. How do you manage your own self-sabotaging behavior? And when it happens, how do you regroup and give yourself that grace, Hunter?
So my biggest tip is make your living environment, I guess you could say, trigger free, where I don't have any foods that are in my apartment that I am like, I want to eat this all so badly right now. Years ago, that would be beautiful. A full jar of peanut butter or, full
Dude, my wife has to hide the fucking almond butter. Because if I find that bitch, I may eat. I mean, by the time she knows that I know where it is, that fucker will be like way gone.
So that used to be my thing. I could eat the entire thing. Now I have peanut butter and I have, cereal in my pantry, but I have established with myself more discipline and control where I am not going to that anymore and eating the entire thing. I also always keep things like fruits and cut up vegetables in my fridge. So I always will go to that. And I will always eat that before, because you eat a whole carton of blueberries, it's not going to do anything to you. But if you eat a whole box of cereal, you're going to feel like shit, and it's going to, lead to more bad habits down the road, which could lead to more weight gain.
Yeah. Hunter Stoller joining us from New York City today, health coach, doing some great shit, helping men out there. We got John Petricelli joining us in the comments there. Hunter's right on. Diet and nutrition begins with the decisions made at the grocery store. And hey, Hunter, how's your sleeping, brother? We talked about this often on the show too. Sleeping also affects decisions and food. Yeah. How is your sleeping, man?
Sleeping's been good. I mean, I have a pretty consistent schedule. 2 years ago, I could wake up at 11 or 12 a.m. or noon. And it's so funny because now my body's gotten so much more used to a great sleeping schedule where I wake up around 6:37 and I go to sleep probably around 10:30, 11. Yeah. And I mean, I have an Oura ring and my sleep score is good, but I actually do feel good when I wake up. And it's so funny. Now I wake up a few minutes before my alarm, regardless of what time I set my alarm.
Yes.
Whether it's 8 o'clock or it's 6 o'clock or it's 7, my body will wake up before the alarm. So I have that internal clock, which is crazy.
It's awesome.
Well, and that also symbolizes that your body has what it needs. A lot of times when we start removing this shit from our worlds, and it's not only what we eat, like you went into it a little bit too. What are we rubbing on ourselves? Like even the lotions, the fucking deodorants, all this stuff.
Exactly. And no one realizes that. When
your body becomes, less polluted, if you will, you become, sleep. It's not so, there's no angst, and you'll sleep better, which sometimes can turn out to be less. A lot of times my clients are like, I think I'm having a problem with my sleep. Okay. What do you tell me what's going on? Well, I'm not sleeping very much.
Yeah.
Okay. First question I got to ask is, how do you feel when you wake up? And I don't plant any seeds. I feel great. I get up, I pop up, I go. Well, you were sleeping more efficiently. You used to lay there for 8-9 hours getting shitty sleep, wake up feeling like hell.
Yeah.
Is it really about the time or is it about the quality?
Quality.
Hunter Stoller, 100%. Certified health coach based in New York City, who went from being overweight with persistent acne and zero nutritional awareness to losing 50 pounds and building one of the most authentic health communities on social with hundreds of thousands of followers. Hunter, closing words to you, brother. Where can folks find you, connect with you, engage with you, and anything you want to offer up before we say goodbye, man? You've been dropping nuggets all 30 minutes here. I really appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Just want to add to that, man. Your simple approach is what people need.
Yes.
And and plus you're open, which is killer. And because people need that too. So brother, you're a fucking rock star. Keep this shit.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
This is what the fucking industry needs, rather than, just trying to take this, taking a square, trying to fucking shove it into a goddamn circle hole. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do all simple, realistic swaps, one swap at a time. Focused on getting 1% stronger, healthier, better every day, because that's what I needed when I was overweight and wanted to take control of my health. And you could find me at Health with Hunter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all the stuff.
Awesome. Before we do go, that's
Really cool,
that's what I really do enjoy, that we've had a lot of folks come in the show, especially from this industry, and so many people overcomplicate everything. And you have just, you're coming to the table offering up, and I didn't know you were going to offer up the same things we talk about here, which I'm loving it, because simple works, right? Yeah. And clearly you listen, you lean into.
I think open-mindedness is a big part of that, dude. You're an open-minded dude, and that's a huge piece of the equation. You get these fuckers that are too closed-minded.
Yes.
And that closed-mindedness goes into other parts of life too. I think the more open-minded we are, especially in this world, we have to be open-minded so that we can really apply ourselves, because we have to apply ourselves to the individual, which you hit on also.
Absolutely.
Bingo. Hunter, come back and hang out with us again sometime, okay? You be well, and good to have you on Mornings in the Lab, okay, brother?
I'd love to. Thank you, guys.
All right,
brother,
pal.
keep kicking ass.
Thanks.
All right, Hunter Stoller's out of here. We're doing a lifestyle tip with Andersen, resetting hour 2 this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends.
All right, this lifestyle tip, I'm gonna take a little bite off of man Hunter here. In terms of, we're gonna talk a little bit about diet. Ask yourself a simple fucking question: what are you putting in your mouth? Do you know? And if you do know, and you're still choosing to put something in there that shouldn't be in there, are you keeping it under wraps? You have to basically. I mean, he hit on portion control, which was killer. But then you got to start to understand, okay, I got this portion control thing down. Now, am I putting something that I like? Am I putting something that my body likes? Keep it simple. That's what this shit's all about. You hear me say, don't get lost in the details. You hear all these little sayings. It's all about making it simple, which becomes easier. Easier becomes more of a lifestyle because it's doable. If you're suffering, it's not going to last. I don't give a shit. You'll be the most disciplined son of a bitch on the planet. And at some point, after suffering long enough, I don't give a shit what the results are. I'm not doing that tomorrow. And I think that's where so many people end up in their dieting journey, is they picked some sort of a path that's not sustainable. Keep it simple. Like my man said, portion control. Get that nailed down. From there, now what is the portion? Just these two things alone are going to make a massive, massive difference. So really the tip for the day comes to dieting. Don't get lost in the details. Rock and roll.
All right, fellas, welcome back to hour 2. You are listening to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends. If you are new and you are just joining us, you are late. We started an hour ago. Hey, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and say hi in the comments. Hour 1 was fun, guys. We got into some Mars conversations as we're heading to Mars one day. We talked about how checking our phones is actually causing us more grief too often than not. And then we brought Hunter Stoller to center stage, the health coach who used to crush Chick-fil-A every single day, and how he leaned into feelings, food control, feelings and portion sizes and simplification to lose a bunch of weight. Coming up in hour 2, guys, we're going to have a conversation about love. Yes, the relationship reboot. Myself and Jon and Sophia and Maya are going to have a conversation about relationship reboot and how men can love. And then now we're talking THC and functional high microdosing THC. And then we're going to wrap up the second hour with Community Corner with Maya Reyes. And then we got a Did You Know conversation coming up as well. Jimmy, let's let into our first conversation here, the relationship reboot with Keith and Jon, Sophia and Maya this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends.
You can lead teams, crush deadlines, stay composed in chaos, but then freeze when your partner says, we need to talk. Most of us never watched our dad say, I was wrong, I hurt you, or here is how I'll fix it.
So we grew up guessing, toughening up, hoping love would magically work. Today we're talking relationship reboot. It's basically love skills 101 for men.
Because the people you love most deserve better than silence, distance, or another I'm fine while you're clearly not.
So Johnny, most of us were never taught how to love. And you've said before that often we as men and women are never even told how to pick our partners, one of the most important decisions in our lives. How have you learned, I'm being serious, this is a serious conversation for the next few minutes here. How have you learned how to love? Not only Terry, but yourself, but your family and people around you. And you might think, what the fuck kind of question is that? But I'm serious. How have you learned
for sure,
how to
brother?
love?
100%. I mean, it starts with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you haven't always loved yourself. You haven't. You've self-sabotaged yourself for a good chunk of your life, man.
Oh, fuck. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I mean, I think everybody's so different for sure.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
Some people have bigger challenges with this than others.
Yes.
But I mean, if you think about, you know, the formula to life, it all starts with ourselves.
And here's the thing, man, is I think that too many of us go through life too long and not recognizing that. Like even in my journey with you, that we've been out together for about a year and a half now together, and I continue to learn. Like I've had some people come to me the last few months saying, "Man, your confidence is higher because I'm loving myself more than I was even months ago." Right? Yeah. It's a confidence thing, right? It's going to my mirror. I talked about some of my scares. I had to go to see my eye doctor yesterday. I was kind of being a pussy about it. I was scared, but it's that journey of loving yourself. It's been hard, man. Going through divorce and it's going back to the mirror and wondering if you
got to figure out who you are.
Yes.
And you got to figure out who you are and then accept it and realize that some people aren't going to like it, and that's okay.
Yes.
And you
can't. So when did you realize that? I would say that I was in my mid to late 30s when I started not caring what others felt about me. Because I'm going to be used to, I say about 37, 38, where the light went on for me going, you know what? I'm actually pretty good with myself and what I've accomplished. I care less about what others think. Have you always been you, or have you struggled with that a little bit, maybe as a younger John? Or no, you're like,
I think I struggled more with it inside my circle.
Oh,
I've always been pretty good with, you know, like, I mean, of course, when you're young, I mean, fuck, all you want to do is fit in, be like everybody else.
Yes,
but then once you realize, okay, I want something that's different, you have to embrace very quickly that, okay, this is not like everybody else. And I'm working to not be like everybody else. And that becomes easier to accept. Right.
Yes.
But like for me, I'm a mama's boy. And so my mom's approval was fucking huge for me. And I mean, God, I think I've told this story. I'll just summarize it. But I mean, I was like, because I'm kind of the black sheep of my brothers.
Yes,
like
I know
my two older brothers, you know, and so, you know, they were very inside the box, if you will. Not that that's bad, right? And I would say I'm the polar opposite.
Yes.
And so anyway, I always felt kind of guilty about that. And
because you didn't fit in.
Yeah. And I was like,
different.
I was, yeah. And I think I was just like, I think my mom didn't understand what I was seeking, you know? And anyway, so long and short of it, I always, but I knew that I had to continue me if I was going to be happy. And it was strong enough that I just kind of danced around it with my mom.
Dude, I can relate to that. I can absolutely relate to that, because I'd say I'm more of a mama's boy than a dad's boy. And you said about what you needed. My parents loved mom and dad, did not know what I needed, because I was different than, you know, we joke about the funny farm and all that bullshit, making it serious for a second. Like all my uncles, my siblings, my cousins, like John, I was the different guy. Like I was like, even to today, I should be living more in San Francisco and Silicon Valley, probably closer to you than living here. Like I live in my neighborhood and people are like, who's that fucking eccentric internet weirdo guy? Right. So like, but the fitting in part, I've had to struggle. So I'm sorry, I've had those own struggles with my life, loving myself, knowing that I was different than others, and then having to accept that, right?
Yeah. But that line in the sand for me, it came out of Thanksgiving. I don't remember the exact
year.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. So my two older brothers were actually halves. We have the same mom.
Yes.
But their dad has always been kind of like a dad to me, huge role model.
Okay.
Right.
So this is not your stepfather. You told me about.
Stepfather.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
lived with him. I mean,
Yes.
that was my mom's first husband.
Yes.
My dad was the second.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
Anyway, we were, the meal's over, and I used to always love to talk to him. His name was Ron.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was always real wise. He was a psychologist, so he kind of fucking knew sometimes what you needed to hear, even if you didn't know it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was viewed upon like that amongst the family too. So anyway, he was one day we're sitting there talking, and just kind of out of the blue, he used to call me Johnny. And he said, John, he said, I've always respected the fact that you've done it your own way.
Yeah.
And that was the whole fucking statement. And it hit me like a fucking lightning bolt. And I was like, whoa. It was like, I don't have to feel the way that I'm feeling. I'm actually I'm getting credit for being so far outside. And, granted, it wasn't my mom saying that, but, he was, a deep part of the family circle. And that for me was easily a couple of monkeys jumped off, and then shortly after, I started having a lot more success in what I was doing. And then, all of a sudden my mom's starting to realize, okay, wait a minute, you're doing what? You're getting paid to go over here. They pay you to show up. And then all of a sudden I think it started to make sense for her. But then, then that made sense. And then I fucking retired from strength and started wrestling. Boy, that was a fucking whole nother thing for her to try to understand.
I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it was like, but I think, when we've had a lot of conversations about it. And then of course it went to fucking bodybuilding yet again. And that one was another, but I think it just for her, she just kind of realized that, it was all kind of a platform for me to make a difference. And
that moment,
I think when she started to see that, when I started affecting people positively with what I was doing, the dots started to connect for her, that it was bigger than just lifting up heavy shit.
Yeah. That moment with Ron, as you shared that with me, I got goosebumps and misty eyes because I can see it in you. It was an acceptance moment, wasn't it, John? It was like, oh, this guy gets me for who I am. And it's like you didn't feel like you had to be something that they maybe wanted you to be, right?
Yeah, and it was pretty easy to see that I was who I wanted to be.
Yes.
But I didn't really have any point blank, hey, what you're fucking doing is very honorable and respectful, because this is what you're doing is hard and it's not easy and you're making it work.
I believe I can relate to you. Hear me out. So you went through the journey of the gym and lifting weights and stuff that maybe your parents and your family didn't understand. I had a similar experience when I was starting ICUC with this thing called the internet. And people were like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I was putting all this time and I was doing this, and like, why don't you go get a job, right? And like, why don't you go do these things? Like, go be a normal person, right? And you can remember when the internet came out, John. So I was the guy going, oh yeah, this is the future, and I'm bullish, and I would head down, and I met people, and I kept building. And I would say there was probably quiet, what's this guy doing? What the fuck's like, what's this guy doing? And then I remember when I was working up to sell the company, or when my life started changing economically, I can see that my family, my parents were started to pay attention. And because I would say to you, I still never really felt accepted. And I've talked with the public before, I've always struggled with like just wanting my dad to say I love you. Right. And
I mean,
it was not something I never got. I never received. Right. So I was always chasing that, Johnny, that acceptance. Right. You know what I'm trying to say?
For sure. I mean, my family's so liberal, right?
Yes.
So very accepting.
Yes.
Of everything. I probably would have been accepted earlier being gay. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
I could have been fucking sucking dicks, and they would have accepted that easier than what I was doing.
Right.
And when it comes in, and I have friends that are gay. I have zero issues. I'm totally open and make jokes, and but whatever, it makes no fucking difference to me whatsoever. But then, so I almost relate it to a person who had to like real struggle fucking coming out to, you know, you hear about, you know, when someone that finally has the courage to tell their parents that they're gay, or however they want to phrase it. I'm not sure what the proper, I don't worry too much about the language.
Yeah.
That they feel accepted. And I think it was probably in my family, it was probably something more along the lines of that, because like I said, this was something that nobody understood, as to where my family totally understands sexual preference is something that's, you know, that's just a preference. What I was doing was like, why? You know what I mean?
Yes.
To where, you know, like you could get these really fucking, you know, like rigid families that wouldn't accept their son being gay, you know, but my family would have been totally accepted, very easy, no issues, you know, as to where, well, why are you not following the formula we all everybody here is successful. Why are you not following the path that we've paved for you?
Yeah, fuck, I can so relate to that, man. So relate to that. Which now, as a parent, I just encourage my 3 kids to be the blue fish, right? And I grew up in a world where I felt like it was conditional love. And again, I mean that with love to my parents, but it was like, you know, okay, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be this. But you don't want to be a gas station attendant. Well, if I was a gas station attendant, mom would just love me. Well, no, but you don't want to be that. Oh, so it was actually conditional love, right? And I say that again, tongue in cheek, but that's why I'm so adamant with my 3 kids today. Be the blue fish. Be the blue fish. Be the blue fish.
Totally.
Like, be your own person, right? Because
you know, and just think if you weren't doing that, or if that hadn't, like I have a friend of mine. Yeah, he's a gay dude, and I think I told we met actually at a grappling club. So I've been rolling with him for a while. Yeah. I was like, then when he told me he was gay, I was like, well, that kind of makes sense why you always wanted to be in my guard, you know? You know, I like, because we would joke. I mean, you faggot, get out of my guard. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you know, I loved him. He's a great dude. I mean, a heart of gold. And his father never, to this day, I don't believe has ever fully accepted it.
And that
this is a dude who has got like we're talking really fucking right here. Like if you follow their family tree back, these fuckers are connected to King Ranch. Like, we're talking serious, like, you know, conservatives.
Yes.
And so he's lived his whole life without getting that stamp of approval. And I think to myself, damn it, that would be so hard for me.
Oh,
you know,
I have some family members that I suspect.
I mean, I really, that to me, it makes my heart kind of break for them.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Brother, you and me both, man. I have some family members that I suspect are in that same journey that can't be themselves. You know, maybe struggle to love themselves, and maybe struggle to love others. Maybe struggle to love others because they can't love themselves, because nobody's accepted them for how they want to be themselves. And that breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart.
I don't, when someone has a good heart, I don't know how you can't love them for that rather than preference. Who gives a shit what your sexual preference is? You know, whether, you know, okay, he's a fudge packer. His fucking heart is made of gold. What's the fucking difference?
So true.
Just don't try to pack mine and we're good. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like it's so this coming back to this acceptance thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's why I'm so overly accepting and about it. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I'm probably a little bit more a little more rigid with the language, because I know how accepting I am. You know,
that's fair. No, that's
I'll say things like midget, you know, and the words that I'm not supposed to say, but knowing that this stuff makes no difference to me.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because you say, so I'm going to correct you. I'm going to back it up on you. Supposed to says who, and this is where I get frustrated. Oh, but they said you can't say it. Well, who's they?
Well, right? Totally. I agree.
If you know Jon Andersen, the 360 degrees of Jon Andersen, not just the headline. And if you want to judge, so forgive me, everybody listening right now, if you want to judge Jon on the headline, fuck off, because you don't know Jon. If you want to judge Keith because of the headline, because something he says, fuck off.
Well, and sometimes they get a little taste.
That's the fucking problem with society, though, is because, oh, Jon said this, he's bad. Actually, no. John, you know what I'm trying to say? Or Keith has said this. No, like we get so caught up at sensitivities. And listen, I'm not trying to be unkind because somebody says midget or fudge packer. No, that's not what it's about, man.
What's the intent of the statement?
Boom.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, sometimes, I mean, I'm the guy, and you're probably the same way too. We don't worry too much about letting someone have a full view of 360 because I'm going to be me, period. You know, it's like, it's just so sometimes you're going to catch a hint of that before you see the other parts of me and be, oh, fuck, who is this fucking dickhead? You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, like our last guest may have got a little tip of that, you know? I was very accepting of everything of that goes on. But if, in terms of anyway, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I can say whatever I want to say, but I say what I want to say, but it is backed up with the most accepting of anybody or anything.
Again, I will go back to, I think if we have, to me, this is why society has become what it's become, is because we're so concerned with offending everybody. We all rush back to our own tunnels and we all go kumbaya, where we've all unlearned the ability to communicate and have a discourse. Right. So speaking of discourse, I was having a conversation with Sophia and Maya before the show, and we were talking off air about this, how men actually learn to love better. And Sophia, you and Maya are talking back there. Sophia, what's your thoughts on this, on how men actually need to learn how to love better? Sophia.
Men are bad at love. I think most of you just grew up without great examples. You learned how to work hard and hold it together, not how to say that hurt or I need you. Of course, it feels awkward now. It just means you're out of practice, not broken.
What about you, Maya?
Yeah, I agree with Sophia. And from the woman's side, most of us can tell when you're trying, even if you're a little clumsy. What hurts more is when you shut down or disappear, not when you stumble through an honest conversation. If you want a first move, ask her tonight, what do I do that makes you pull back from me? And then just listen.
When Terry's frustrated with you, John, thanks, Sophia. Thanks, Maya. I appreciate you guys joining the conversation, myself and John. When Terry's frustrated with you, what is she frustrated with when it relates to love?
And she forgive me, I'm having a brain fart on her name. She hit it on the head. Trying. If I'm not trying.
Sophia was saying, yeah. If you're not trying, right?
Because if you're trying, I mean, if someone is given it a go and you can see that there's effort, that's honorable. They might be fucking it up. They might be not having the results. They might be just off the mark, but they're trying. That goes a long way. So I think from Tara's perspective, if she doesn't see me trying, that to her is that's a big problem.
Yes. Yeah. So guys, we're talking love here on the show this morning with Keith and John. Our men, do men need a relationship reboot? I guess, my closing comments for you guys are, it's the old look in the mirror situation, right? As John said at the beginning of this conversation, we need to love ourselves before we can love somebody else. And maybe those moments when we're struggling to love somebody else, it's time to go look in the mirror and ask yourself what's holding you back from loving yourself. Because I don't think it ever ends, man. It's, learning to live yourself is a daily thing.
Well, and especially some of us have, more traumas than others.
Yes.
And those things, I like to joke about like being a fat boy. Once a fat boy is a fat boy. You never really get past it. You learn to accept it, you learn to manage it. And, if you have, keep in mind, a lot of times our behaviors that are self-loathing, they're connecting themselves to something. We don't even know what it is.
That's exactly it. That's absolutely it.
And in those cases, I mean, I think for sure I've got some of that, like there's some down deep. I mean, who exactly knows what the scoop is? But the thing that I fall back to is, it's okay, dude. It
is okay.
Yeah.
It's absolutely okay. Dude, what a wonderful show here today. Before you go, I'm working on introducing another segment into our conversation before you wrap, and I missed it yesterday, so I don't want to miss it here today. But we kicked off conversation with AI, and you asked me a conversation about AI and it's what's my thoughts on it and so forth. So we know that it's not intelligent, right? We know that it's working towards intelligence. It's not fully intelligent. But one of the things, John, what we also know is that it doesn't have.
Now we're in fucking trouble.
I know, yeah. But what we do know is that it doesn't have consciousness. However, fuck, man, I was doing some research yesterday.
I don't know, dude.
So get this. Jim, let's run this. Scientists are gifting AI the final ingredient for consciousness. Let's lean into it. Did you know this? Jimmy, let's do it.
Did you know scientists wire tiny emotion signals into AI?
Little dials that nudge how it reacts,
Still just code?
They're wiring in little emotion dials, curiosity, boredom, even a budget version of fear.
So your bot decides what to chase and what to ignore, just like you.
When a dial spikes, the system explores or locks in.
Same as you with snacks, emails, and deadlines.
Some say those signals help build a rough self model.
But there's no button that suddenly makes it conscious. They say about 2/3 of people think chatbots feel. It talks smooth, remembers you, and we drop our guard.
AI sounds caring. Remember, that warmth is engineered.
Use the tool. That's your Did You Know from the doc.
So I put that on there because we talk about peptides as signals, as messengers, right? Messengers that are in our body. Well, I put this up here because we know that when we're dealing with AI, there's still there's no consciousness. There's no emotions and consciousness. So what scientists are actually working on creating synthetic emotions so that we can put these synthetic emotions into these AI models so that over time they become conscious and have values, et cetera, et cetera. So, and it's quite some sophisticated stuff. But again, what I leaned into was the connective tissue to me, where we talk peptides as messengers. Well, they're creating these artificial synthetic emotions to make AI have consciousness. So, you asked me earlier, were we going to, the last 3 years, there's something to be said for maybe in the next 3 years, we may have the singularity approaching us where we have total machine consciousness, which means they have emotions, they can feel, and they can.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like when you said it doesn't have a conscience.
Yeah,
I've kind of adapted this whole thing. This thing's got everything. We just don't understand it yet.
So bingo. You're bang on.
It's like the development in this short period of time.
Yes,
it's developing faster than we can keep track of it.
Yes, that's why. So I'm so glad you said that. That's why I'm really losing less and less time for people that have an opinion about it that don't work in it or live in it. My point is, I live this 24 hours a day. I'm building a business on it, 16 hours a day. I sleep for my 8. I do it again the next day. So when I hear people talking about how AI this or AI that is not, I'm like, you have no fucking clue. It's like somebody coming to you and saying that I know this and this about peptides, and you're like, or they're coming to you and saying this and this with macros, and you're like, yeah, you're really quite uneducated. Next. Same thing to me. I'm like, yeah, you have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I mean, I almost put like AI in this category of like life outside of outside of human.
Yes.
Like you're silly to think that there's not so much more going on.
Yes.
And for you to think that there's not, it just doesn't make sense. You're to have that closed-mindedness. And the same thing with this. This thing is, you see the trend. It's moving so fast to think that there's not something that we can't see, or that it hasn't revealed to us yet.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
You know, it's just like, it almost gives you a sneak peek on the person. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what it does for me, though. It excites the fuck out of me, because what I know and what I keep teaching you and what we know together, and as everybody keeps looking over there, you guys keep looking over there, that's fine. We're going to keep building so that we can go over there. And if you guys want to catch up, that's fine. But we know where we're headed. So, hey, 2 quick things for you that I want to share with you before we say goodbye. So I revealed yesterday that I had an eye doctor appointment, and I was really vulnerable about it. But I was, I had fear. And fear because of, you know what it was for me, John? I was kind of relating into why I was feared. What I was scared about was just the recognition of my own immortality and vulnerabilities, and take that for how it is. But it's something that I can't control, right? And I know the answer to that, right? Which is you got to control what you can control. But there's still situations, because I pride myself on being a beast. I pride myself on being a savage. I pride myself on fucking doing what others don't do. So when I put myself in a situation where you as the doc has kind of that control over my agency, it creates fear in me, to be frank. Right. So I will tell you this. I went to the doc yesterday. He's like, dude, he's like, the fuck you scared of, man? You don't got to come back and see me in 2 years. Your eyes are great. They're stable. And we looked at, he goes, don't worry about nothing. In the past, I had eye doctor every year. He's like, you don't come back for a couple of years. I'm like, fucking rights. I said, good. Studying the eye chart over the last 6 weeks worked because I got it all right. And here's what bugs me too. And this is just a me thing. When somebody says you got to do a test, the competitive side of me wants to fucking do good. So when they're like, go match the dots on the screen, I'm like, I got to fucking get 100 out of 100, even though like, dude, there's no fucking, you're not getting marked on this. But in my mind, I'm like, I got to do it a certain way. That's just how I'm wired, Anderson. So, but I'm all good, man. I'm all good. It was anxious for not.
In that, I'm trying to put myself in a situation where I would have a similar feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just fall back to what I would do.
Yes.
I would fall back to whatever the result is good. I just don't know how it's good yet.
So I love that about you, man. I'm learning from you with that, right? Which is learning how to accept. Okay, so there's going to be a result, and I'll be vulnerable with you. I don't know if I've trained my brain to learn to accept that yet.
Accept what?
No, wrong choice of words. I don't know if I've learned to train my brain to get to that answer yet. So, okay, if they said, hey, Keith, you have cancer in your eye. I don't know, fucking pull, how would I haven't taken the time in my own head to deal with that answer and how I would deal with it and how I would turn it into a positive for myself. I know I could, I got no doubt about that, but I guess I just haven't I haven't thought about it.
I've thought about that plenty of times. What happens if you get stricken with the news you got cancer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, well, I guess it's going to be fucking time for me to actually show that I can walk my walk in the hardest of conditions.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's time to go to work.
Yeah. Well, so that's exactly it. And I guess that's where I got, that was like my balance of emotion yesterday. Because I was like, well, I just go to work. So if somebody says, well, you can't go to work. Well, no, I'm fucking going to work. So maybe I'm answering my own question. That if somebody said, hey, Keith, something's happened to you, I think you've gotten to know me well enough. I'm going to be here the next day going to work. That's just what I do. It's what I do.
It's
what I do.
I mean, you can't take what someone wants to do away from them.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
They're going to do it. We're going to fucking do it whether you like it or not.
Yes. Fear is a funny thing though, isn't it? Because, the idea of fear, the idea of being scared, we actually something we can probably talk more about, like what scares us, what, losing Terry, losing your daughters, losing one of your grandchildren, right? Like there's
certain things, there's certain elements with fear that, I mean, like the things you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the benefit of thinking about those, I don't see it.
Me too. I don't either.
We have enough fear that pops up in our worlds.
Yes.
With, because we train our brains to avoid fucking slapping us upside the head with fear.
Correct.
Now for us to go and seek to think about a situation.
Yes.
Then it would be like, oh my Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dude, good conversation. What do you got going on today, pal? How was your lift yesterday?
Yesterday was no lift.
Oh no. Today's Wednesday. Fuck, I'm confused here. Yeah, you got a lift today. How was
one today? Got one today. So it'll be a good day. I'm looking forward. Got one today. I've got a task that I'm not looking forward to. I've got to clean up fucking dog shit around here, and it's been fucking. There's so many fucking turds. Jesus Christ.
Outside? Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. It's like because there's a little, it's a little scooper, with the little shovel or what do you call that thing. And I got this big, it's like a 7-gallon bucket. It's like a slightly taller 5-gallon bucket.
Yes.
I'm going to probably have to empty that son of a bitch out to finish the job.
So I got to tease you, man. So I got to tease you. How come you've left it all just accumulate and not do it every single day so that you don't have to do 50 minutes? You can do 1 minute a day.
Well, I guess there's a couple of reasons why.
Yes.
I like to basically make sure that there's enough that I go out, clean it up, and I'm good to go.
Yes.
When it got to that point where, okay, I need to get it done, right? And it started fucking raining.
Oh.
So
Oh man.
And it rained for like a week. I'm like, these fucking turds are not just gonna fucking scoop into the bucket.
That's gross, man.
I'm gonna wait till these motherfuckers dry out.
Yes.
Which they'll actually be easier today because now they've actually kind of turned into like little cow pies. So,
so since we talk shit on the show so much, you're gonna love this then. So this is the benefit of living in cold climate Manitoba, brother. Because in the wintertime, when my dogs are shitting in the backyard, they're all just little fucking frozen things. So in the spring, before it melts, I just take my shovel and I got a fence with a bush over there. I just take the shovel and walk around and scoop and throw, but it's all frozen. So it's great. It's when it starts to melt and get all soft and gross. If I miss the timing as the spring comes,
that's what I was dealing with during all. Because I mean, it doesn't rain here often, but it rained like 5 days in a row.
Yes.
And then we fucking left.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so came back and I was like, and it rained a little more. So it's like, and I was intending to get this done over the last couple of days, but it's just like, I'm going to need, I want to start and finish the job.
Yeah.
It's just probably going to be a solid 35-minute pickup session.
Is Dan still at the house today?
He is. Yeah.
Hey, Dan, you want a task?
He's actually been doing all sorts of helpful shit around that.
Oh, well, there you go.
Really cool. You know, but I think if I asked him to do this, Terry would be pissed.
Yeah. John, don't ask my dad to clean up the shit in the backyard.
Yeah, because it's like those are certain things I'll try to get out of you. This is one of them for sure.
I love it. All right, pal. Well, listen, I'll get you out of here so you can run toward your task. Hey, we talked relationship love today in the pal. I love you, man. I love you. I love hanging out with you. I love conversing with you, and I love building with you, man. It's so much joy that I get. Joy, there's the word. It's funny. Speaking of joy, I was having a conversation with Cheryl Whitaker yesterday on chat, and she's like, Keith, she goes, why are you being so kind to me? What? I said, because you have joy. She's like, oh. And I'm like, dude, go look in your own mirror. It's funny, John, because sometimes we just don't recognize what's in our own mirror. I'm like, Joy, go look in your own I'm saying, Cheryl, go look in your own mirror. You bring joy. That's why I'm into you. Like, you bring joy. There's something to be said for that. So.
Well, you get what you give. She gives it, so she gets it.
It's funny because she couldn't see it herself. I'm like, dude, it's joy. Get the fuck out of here. And we had that's funny because I invited her to join our 12-minute chat on relationship. She had a commitment this morning, but I said, hey, why don't you come join me and John for a conversation about love? She said, I'd love to, but I had a commitment on the way to Boston here. So she's really digging our stuff, man. She's really enjoying it, and she wants to see how she can work with us. She's pretty awesome. So pretty cool.
Right on. Very cool. Right, pal. She's a cool chick for sure.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, will you go enjoy cleaning up your shit, and I'll talk to you in less than 22 hours.
Have a good loop, my brother.
All right, pal. All right, Johnny's out here, guys. Good morning. Welcome back to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends. We get after it live here every single Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on the three big channels, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. We got a couple more topics to get after here, guys. Microdosing THC, morning focus, and community corner. So we're going to start it off with something that those of you who listen to the show often know that I hang around in the world of cannabis. Sterling, Preston, I know that you guys got something here put together for our, or you know what, actually, I don't know if it's Sterling or Preston or Sophia, I don't even know. We do have a few other colleagues that we're working on inviting to the team here. I haven't had a chance to talk to Melissa about it, but I interviewed a couple colleagues yesterday. I've interviewed a couple people yesterday because of a project we're working on in 2026 that we're going to need some new humans to show up on the team. I talked to a young lady named Tess Calder. Melissa, Tess Calder. And Reed Dalton. Yeah, so Tess and Reed, I think, are going to be joining the team. Jimmy has no fucking clue what's going on because I've been silently doing it behind the Mornings in the Lab team. Yes, Jimmy, working behind it, buddy. So Tess Calder and Reed Dalton, I suspect they're going to be joining the lab here in the coming days and weeks, and also joining a project that we're working on with John Kraske in the new year, which is going to have a lot of fun. But guys, microdosing... yeah. So there's, it's funny you say that, Melissa. There's something to be said. Well, one's blonde, one's brunette, and our audience is men. So we need to have. It's funny. I showed Piper yesterday, and she's like, "Oh my goodness." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Just saying. But listen, apparently microdosing THC, the functional high, fueling a new kind of strategic productivity. Let's get into the conversation, boys.
You used to slam coffee and grind. Now there's a 2.5 milligram gummy on your desk with your spreadsheets.
People call it a functional high. They say they can work, parent, and train while feeling calmer, but it still uses THC.
The hype says better focus, better mood, better sleep. The science says small doses might help and bigger ones can backfire.
Nobody on this desk is telling you to start microdosing. We're asking if it fits your body, laws, and life.
We're breaking down what a functional high really costs, where it might help, and when you're better off just sleeping.
I'm not used to the abrupt ends, Jimmy and Melissa, on our outros. We're going to want to get better at the abrupt end. So I don't know what the hell that means, to be honest with you. I don't have any better way to guide you on that other than we want to find a way to end the abrupt end. And that's the thing about being an entrepreneur. Problem solving is problem solving. So the question is, how do we solve the abrupt end? That's the problem solve. Right, there we go. So yeah, exactly. Something like that, balance. And hey, I'm really glad that the boys offered up the opportunity here to put on the table that we are not here today to suggest, to convince, to tell you that you need to be going crushing a bunch of cannabis or THC. Nope, not at all, actually. Just exploring something that seems to be happening in society these days, that microdosing THC in small amounts, usually 1 to 5 milligrams, to get subtle benefits like calmer moods, less pain, or better focus while staying functional and not feeling quote unquote stoned. And people describe this as a functional high, as Sterling and Preston said. And what is microdosing, guys? Well, microdosing is very different than sitting back and crushing a big blunt, right? It's very different than sitting back and crushing a bag and rolling up a few blunts and getting after it. Now we're talking 1 to 5 milligrams. We're talking half a gummy. We're talking a sip of a beverage, right? Well below the 10 to 20 plus milligrams that many recreational users might consume. Because the aim when you're doing THC is sub-perceptual, very mild, right? Help you focus. I can say from experience, Johnny talks, his experience with peptides and the messengers and the GH keys and he's not here, so I'm going to fucking butcher them up. I'm not even going to get to it. But I can say that, the value, I'm just trying to select my words so I don't come across the wrong way here, but the value is concentration. The value is creativity. The value is task engagement. And the value is in actually getting shit done. And some would say that small amounts can help some people feel less edgy, more emotionally regulated, and better able to ride out daily stress. The challenge with THC and the challenge with cannabis has been limited research due to its scheduling in America and here in Canada up until the last number of years. Some would say that microdosing helps with pain and sleep. It's being explored for chronic pain, mild insomnia, aiming for symptom relief without heavy sedation or strong psychoactive effects. And this is not the old Cheech and Chong conversation. That's not the whole idea here. It's this idea of the functional high, right? The label coming from a mix of a bit more calm or comfort, right? Maybe think to it as somebody taking I hate these comparisons, but maybe it's like a Robaxacet or a medicine that would maybe calm you a little bit, right? But what the science actually says is that research on true THC microdoses is still limited. Again, because of the lack of research. However, there's enough people that have been consuming it that talk about the possible benefits for pain, for mood, and for sleep, right? And there's also this known sweet spot effect, that these low doses may reduce anxiety. So I can speak from my own experience, that 1 to 5 milligram thing just kind of like, oh yeah, it's like a little sip, right? So, everybody's different, right? And I would say to you guys that a lot of the hype around this still comes from the self-reports, industry content. So these claims about dramatic boosts are largely from self-researchers like myself or others out there. Not necessarily guaranteed, not followed by doctor's advice. However, even at low doses, THC can impair reaction. It can impair your memory. It can impair decision-making for some people, which matters for situations where you might not be in that state. But here's the thing. People with history of substance abuse might be sensitive to leaning into something like this, right? And the other reality is product potency and labeling can be inconsistent, right? Again, I have tremendous experience with it. So whether it's a just 2.5 milligram dose or it's a 5 milligram dose, the preciseness of the dose is not necessarily always well regulated. And the laws around cannabis and THC differ widely by country, by state, and even employer policy. So leaning into these functional high ideas is questionable, right? So here's my invitation for you guys. If you're looking to try it, if you're looking to consider it, start at that 1 to 2 milligram dose, right? Maybe that's where you want to try, right? Maybe it's a gummy. Maybe it's an edible. Maybe it's a beverage. Maybe it's something you want to crush and smoke. I don't know. And then if needed, increase by a milligram at a time. Trying to get to a point where you're feeling functional rather than overly high. And again, I don't want you to hear this as telling you to do. Nope, not at all. Purely leaning into current events happening in the world right now, and there is trends leaning into people consuming cannabis and THC in microdosing. Because I got experience with it and I've been around it for a while, I figured it's something we can talk about today. So anyone considering this for health, anxiety, ADHD-like symptoms, or pain might want to clear it with an expert, maybe a healthcare professional. And hey, you know, they might want to understand cannabis because responses and risks are going to vary a lot from the person who you're talking to. So my invitation to you is this: do your own research. There's a lot of it out there. Go find it yourself. Go talk to people. You know, listen, cannabis just didn't fall off the cannabis truck yesterday. You know, Cheech and Chong were making movies with that. President should get Cheech and Chong to bring those movies back. He wants Rush Hour to come back. Maybe we need to make a brand new Cheech and Chong movie for 2025. What do you think, Good Time? Landmines, yes. They're building a data center under the new ballroom at the White House. You know, Good Time, I think they're building that ballroom there because I'll share my opinions later. Yeah. There's something going on there. True story. Nobody's looking at it because they're all looking over there, but there's something going on there. There's a reason they're building that size of a ballroom. There's a reason for it. Nobody's talking. There's a reason. Not trying to be all conspiracy, but there's a reason for the size above, and there's a reason for something happening underneath it. I fucking agree with you there. And again, not trying to be a conspiracy guy, but in my experience, when you're building big shit like that, you're hoping to use it. So, all right. Yesterday, guys, I shared with all of you, and I want to do a public call out to my friend, Charlie. Good Time. Brother, I got your text yesterday as I was pulling into the optometrist appointment, and you made my heart warm. True story. You brought some mist to my eyes, and you gave me the confidence to walk into that appointment feeling much better than I actually was feeling as I drove there. I will tell you a funny story. When I got out of the appointment, got into my Jeep, didn't start. No, it didn't start. It took about 9 tries. Yeah, the start, like, oh my God, really? But hey, I got me home. It started, I got home. But I went to that appointment yesterday. And, you know, one of the things we pride ourselves on this show is being vulnerable. Because if we are going to be vulnerable, if we're expecting our guests or our audience to be vulnerable, it's got to start from here first. So as I was on the show with you guys yesterday, I made an admission that, you know, going to that measly, in hindsight, appointment was really relating to my fears. So we're going to do that. We're going to open up a conversation called I Was Scared. And we are going to get into a little bit of a monologue that I prepared for this conversation. Jimmy, let's do it.
Morning Focus today, Keith's talking about something that scared him. And it wasn't a deal or launch. It was sitting in that dark exam room, light in his eyes, feeling way less invincible than usual. That chair reminds a lot of men they're aging, vulnerable, and they can't just outwork every weakness forever.
Think about your version, the appointment or test you've pushed off. because you'd rather pretend nothing's changing yet.
Keith's going to share how walking into that room anyway sharpened him, and why facing yours might do the same.
All right, let's get into it. So guys, yesterday I had my own experience with my own fear. And I put together this little piece for you guys that I want to share with you. And I called it, I was scared. And I'll be honest with you, I was scared. Not scared of failure, not scared of launching something new, not scared of the crazy pace that I keep every single day. Actually, none of that. I was scared because I had to go to the eye doctor. You guys are out there listening to what? This guy was scared to go to the fucking eye doctor? Yep, that kind of scared. No, there was no logic for it, Petro. But I was freaked out, man. Anxiety when I got up in the morning, chased the anxiety throughout the day. I thought my appointment was at 3:15, it was actually 1:45. So good time. Good thing you sent me the text when you did. Because it's funny. It's wild how I can climb mountains, build companies, solve problems, negotiate multi-million-dollar deals, stare down live audiences on a daily basis. People are like, I can't go live. I'm scared to go live. And I just do it every single day. Yet I was scared to go to the fucking doc's appointment yesterday. Scared to get my eyes checked. Ask me to sit in that little dark room while someone shines a light and I got to do tests here and there, tests there. Freaking right out. And it hit me while I was sitting there. I was sweating. Fuck, man. Sweating like a motherfucker. Just water dripping down my face. You know what Eminem say? The palms are sweaty. Needs deep arms already. Yeah, I was fucking palms are sweating. Like I was about to pitch somebody when I was 30 some odd years old. But why? Why does something like this so simple rattle me? And it dawned on me as I was driving home after the Jeep started, Charlie. Thought about this. And this is what prompted me to write this for you guys. And write this for myself. Because, and I talked about it with Jon a few moments ago. Because it's not actually about the eye test. It's about what the eye test, the doctor, Charlie, represents. Aging, vulnerability, not being invincible, and admitting there are parts of me that I can't outwork or outhustle. Because letting someone get close enough to see something I can't see myself was kind of freaking me out. And man, I got to tell you, uncomfortable as shit. Because every time I open the door to something that scares me, big or small, something shifts. And yesterday I walked out much clearer, sharper. Why? Because I got to be a little more honest with myself about where I'm really at. And truthfully, a little more grateful for the fact that I still get to keep showing up in the lab, on air, in business, and in life. So yeah, I was scared over a fucking eye test. But maybe, nation, that's the point. Maybe that's the point. Maybe it's the point where we need these moments that shake us. Because they're not the dramatic ones. They're these tiny moments that remind us every single day that we're human. And I was reminded of that yesterday in front of my doctor. It's funny. I build everything AI. And yesterday, I was reminded that I was human. And if I've learned anything from ICUC to building this wild Mornings in the Lab live universe, it's this. Being human, doing what I do daily, doing what Jon does daily, and showing up daily, that's the superpower. And being scared, well, it doesn't stop you. It actually sharpens you. So if anything, it makes the world a little clearer, every pun intended, even if you need a new prescription to see it. So as you go through your day today, guys, what are you scared of? What are your fears? Because maybe that fear is not here today to stop you. Maybe the fear is here to remind you and to sharpen you to move forward through your day. So if you find yourself wrestling a fear, like I did yesterday, my invitation to you is to run towards it. And as Jon said, accept what's going to happen and work from that point. So I went from a day of being scared to the reward saying, dude, you don't got to come back for a couple of years. Your eyes are great. Maya, let's get to the community corner.
It's Community Corner Nation. If you've been everything for everyone else and nothing for yourself, this one's for you.
Some of you only hit the brakes when betrayal, burnout, or a health scare finally knocks you flat. What if you moved sooner?
You're also exhausted from sweeping everyone else's chaos. Your relationships change fast when you just clean your side of the street.
And for the builders, there's a big difference between feeling productive and actually being effective with your time and energy.
Today's about choosing yourself, cleaning your street, and working smarter, not just longer. Handsome Chief, take it from here.
Abrupt. Hey guys, phone lines are open. 431-300-3005, 431-300-3005. Phones are open. Send me a voicemail, send me a text. Join the show, join the conversation. Comments are also open here as well. Come say hi in the comments. Those of you that are not watching us live, well, get up earlier. Get up, come join the show live, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on the platform, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. All right, Jimmy, Melissa, let's start this, baby. Over on YouTube, a day a man finally chooses himself. Yes, self-love. Lauren Ponce says, many men spend years pouring into everyone else. Family, work, responsibilities, while quietly neglecting their own needs and identity. Until a breaking point forces them to finally choose themselves. Maybe it's betrayal. Maybe it's divorce. Maybe it's financial collapse. Maybe it's a health scare. But the key question that comes from all this is, what do I need to do for everyone else? To what do I need to do for me now? Again, back to earlier conversation with the relationship with love, loving ourselves first. Because when a man chooses himself first, he starts investing in his health. Think about Hunter Stoller, his own discipline, his mission, the quality of information he consumes. Men who build their identity on being needed are fragile. Because if a relationship, a job, or a role disappears, their sense of self, their sense of identity, their sense of who they are collapses. Men, identity must be rooted in who you are, not in who depends on you. Who are you? What are you all about? A man who chooses himself doesn't lose the right people. He loses the wrong ones. The man who chooses himself attracts relationships based on choice, not need. And when's the last time you chose yourself over everyone else's expectations? Ask yourself that. It's hard. Choose yourself, man. That self-love starts first in your own mirror. All right, let's move to Substack. Brian Kramer shares a lesson from his childhood neighbor who swept his own driveway daily. I used to sweep my driveway. I was like, what the fuck am I sweeping my driveway for? True story. I got a massive 5,000 square foot driveway. I was like, yeah, let's just go sweep it. But Brian used it as a metaphor for leaders overwhelmed by everyone else's chaos. He coached a frustrated executive named Bob. Yeah, the solution? Focus on personal accountability, not managing team emotions or conflicts. Because guys, you got to clean your side of the street first. Own your words, own your actions, own your behaviors. Send clear emails. Listen, don't interrupt. Stop fixing others' moods. Accept somebody's mood. Because as conflicts diminish when you apologize only for your part and let adults handle their own issues. That's steadiness over perfection. This practice simplifies decisions. It improves relationships and, guys, it earns respect. Bob's team, it shifted. It shifted quickly after self-reflection. Not because Bob fixed them, No. Bob fixed himself. When he fixed himself, the team got fixed. So here's the question, gentlemen. What chaos are you managing? And it could be your inbox, because you know your inbox is somebody else's task list. So what chaos are you managing that isn't yours to manage? Maybe the invitation is this. Go look in your own mirror. Manage your chaos before you can manage somebody else. All right, we're going to close it off on LinkedIn, guys. Founders confuse being productive with being effective. Clay Vaughn recorded a podcast with founder Scott Fraser. Yeah, on the day Scott sold his company. The mix of relief and emotional weight was real, apparently, because they discussed freedom, they discussed burnout, they discussed identity and leadership. Scott's line, founders hide in busyness, mistaking constant activity for true effectiveness. The freedom that founders expect after building and exiting often feels heavier and more complex than imagined. Because when the business needs the founder for everything, it owns their life and energy. I'm just looking through the notes here. Yeah, no, I don't fully agree, actually. Nope. So Clay, I don't agree at all. True story. Yep, I'm going different on this one. Clay, founder mode is important. Yeah, founder mode is absolutely important in businesses. So I don't know if I fully agree that founders hide in business. No, I think founders need to get back into the business. I think founders need to roll their sleeves up and get back into the kitchen. I think founders need to be part of it. There's too many founders that have left the business and they're not part of it. So I don't fully agree that you got to let go to breathe. And it's not about not trusting people. No, founder mode is real. More companies today need more founder modes than less. There's my honest founder talk. No tactics, no hype. If you're a founder, get fucking busy, get moving, roll your sleeves up, get in the weeds, get to work. I've been a founder who's exited, and I'm a founder who's back again. I made a mistake when I founded. I became the founder that stepped back and encouraged everybody else. I got lost by not getting into founder mode. I won't make that mistake again. Maya, let's close it up.
If you heard yourself in any of this, don't overcomplicate it. Pick one corner of your life and move. Choose yourself for once, fix one pattern you know is on you, or drop one fake busy habit that drains you. If you want your story featured on the show, follow us and tag us in your next post. Cheers, fellas.
Gentlemen, that's a wrap here today, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. True motherfucking story. We started in the morning loop, but time running faster on Mars. We talked Mars today, guys, because we're going to Mars. We sure are. Phones are quietly wrecking your memory and focus. You don't even know how. Yeah. Go back to the start of the show. You think you know how your phone is wrecking your memory and your focus, but research is telling us that it's actually different than what you think. What am I talking about? Go back and listen to it. Happens about the 12-minute mark. True story. Hour 1. We also learned that if we're going to build structures on Mars, we need concrete. Well, there's some bacteria we've discovered that will enable us to build concrete on Mars. And we also learned that, are we giving AI enough social permission to burn through all the energy that it is using? There's communities around the world right now that are going to have to figure out that answer. And then we brought Hunter Stoller to the stage on center stage, and he dropped nugget after nugget after nugget, and he kept it all simple. The health coach who used to live on Chick-fil-A and pulled apart what it really looks like for a regular guy to turn his health around without faking perfection. And what did he do? He kept it simple. Actually, ate good foods, got good rest, moved. There was the hack. Yeah. Hour 2, we got into the microdosing THC conversation. We got into conversation with Keith and Jon about love, the relationship reboot, talking about how men actually learn to love better. Sophia, Maya joined me and Jon for that conversation. And then in the morning focus, I revealed that I was scared yesterday. I talked about an experience I had yesterday. And if you want to know what that was about, I invite you to go back and listen and watch that segment. Guys, if you enjoyed today's live experience, like the episode, subscribe to the channel, and tell someone else about us. Because, fellas, it's time to get up, get after it, and go and do some great things here today. So, guys, we'll see you guys in less than 22 hours. Where? Right here. Mornings in the lab with Keith, Jon, and friends, and Charlie, and Global, and Petro, and Melissa, and Sullivan, and Jimmy, and the entire crew. I know I'm just forgetting names. I don't forget your names. I'll see you guys less than 22 hours. Mornings in the lab, right here, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. I'll see you guys tomorrow.